Good evening, everyone. Greetings from the World Alliance of Indigenous Peoples. I am Sadanya Napi Kasachawak Natasuwis, right? Sadanya Flowing Water is what I'm called. And we have Tiffany Trueblood. She's also known as Red Tail Songbird. Hi, Tiff. How are you? How's things down in North Carolina?
Oh, South Carolina now, but
You know,
everything's going good. Everything's going good. I was in North Carolina yesterday, and
yeah.
everything's going good there for the family reunion.
Oh, you had a family reunion. It's that time of year, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes habits are so hard to break, right? I'm so used to you being in North Carolina, and I forgot you made that move to South Carolina now. Yeah. Well, listen, everybody. We are just so excited because we are moving closer and closer to our festival, Soft Cars International Culture Festival. Right, it's going to be virtual this year, so just stop by our page on August 19th. Did I get that right? August 19th, between 12 and 6 p.m., and you're going to see an array of artists and performers. We really pride ourselves on bringing some fantastic singers, musicians, poets. And today we brought a few friends with us that are helping us count down to the festival. So, a big part of what we do is we provide space for entrepreneurs like Tiffany Trueblood and vendors, right? Grassroots vendors to come and introduce our viewing audience or our patrons to their products and services. So today is our special Poets, Songwriters, and Authors Lounge, right? Virtual lounge. And I do want to give a shout out to all of the book vendors in the past who have showed up for at Softcore's International Culture Festival with their books and selling. And all of the singers and songwriters as well that have graced the stage. And we have just, oh my God, just a list of people that we can thank, but we'll have to work on that. Because the list is so long. So we're gonna, probably during the festival, give them a shout out and everything. But they know who they are, and we just want to say thank you. So with that said, okay, we are going to bring our first guest to the stage, Mr. Eric Frazier, in a little while, right? But um, in the meantime, right, what I would like to do is I would like to read a poem, okay, to you guys. And it's from my book called Boots. So, everybody, I'm a singer and a songwriter as well, but I probably started off as a writer first, okay? And it kind of transformed or moved into singing and songwriting. So, my book, and I'm going to bring them up. I actually have two books. So, I'm actually going to bring them up on the screen so that you can take a look. But the people who work for the World Alliance of Indigenous Peoples, we have extensive backgrounds in cultural and fine arts. Tiffany is a classically trained singer and a wonderful songwriter, right? And we both have, I guess, brought what we love to this platform in hopes that we could raise the voices of Indigenous peoples around the world. So let's see, guys. I'm going to go ahead and just give you guys a glimpse of my books. And hopefully, let's see here. hopefully they will show up for me. Okay, one sec. Here we go, guys. But I'm telling you, I am in Ohio, Tiff, and it is really something that, the weather today is like 77 degrees. And just a couple of days ago, it was like 95 degrees. So I'm not able to pull it up, but I'll be able to show you one of the books here, right? Boots. And Miss Truba got her copy as well. It's a selection of poetry. I also wrote a play called Autumn Dawn, which was set in the 70s. So that was very fun to write. Whenever you're writing outside of your time that you're living in, it's fun because you have to get into the characters, get into what they're wearing, and things like that. So, but I'm going to start off, Tiff, if you don't mind, and just reading, right, um, my prologue.
Okay.
And yeah, so um, this prologue, right, I was told not to put in a book of poetry, but I said, I'm going to do it my way. All
Right.
right. And so it starts like this, but this is an Ars Poetica. So the type of writer that I am, well, is I do know the forms, like sonnets and Ars Poetica and a Huzzle. And so I take contemporary issues of today and I literally will put them in the form of a sonnet. So they don't sound like it's a sonnet, doesn't sound like it's a Huzzle, but if you actually looked at them on the page, that's exactly what you would see. So it says, so this Ars Poetica is a form of poetry that basically you write freestyle. There is no grammar rules, and you're just flowing over the page, but it's stating what that subject means to you.
Mhm.
So at age 8, in a house filled with laughter and play, 3 cousins and the delightful smells of collards, yams, and fried meat that a hardworking aunt and mother enchanted with intoxicating spices and love to delight the soul. Poetry became words which cracked open skies in my mind. During the night, it pulled my thoughts from dreams to it instead, tossing my little unconscious soul back and forth. Words, can we play in the morning? I promise I won't forget a line. I won't forget a thing, I'd mumble. My refusals to rouse from my sleep to satisfy these words with crude awakenings started battles that lasted throughout many nights until I gave in, woke up, and wrote them down line after line. Rejoicing for freedom, they'd run all over the page. In song and dance, they'd engage, transforming into beautiful lullabies that whispered to the soft beat of my poppy's bongos. Pacifying and cleansing my mind, I was sung back to sleep and left alone to dream the things that a little caramel princess was supposed to dream. At age 10, poetry was my secret corner, the only place in the Fulton Elementary School library where people of color took up residence on bookshelves. It was a small area, but it became the poetry that fertilized and watered me. A little girl with a crooked smile who jumped double dutch on hot sidewalks, ate sunflower seeds in class when the teacher wasn't looking, and grew despite being in the midst of a concrete nothingness. There in that corner, Langston Hughes and I sat on rivers that he knew and read his one sentence suicide note over and over again until it became the length of a book. Gwendolyn Brooks and I, Jazz June and Nikki, well, Nikki and I said what we wanted to say. Most of the time, we threw our fists in the air and sang with James Brown. Say it loud. Woo! I'm black and I'm proud. In our quiet moments, we just read Langston Hughes. I too sing America or Mother to Son. While Mahalia Jackson sang Jesus into my life and Nat Love stood on his front cover, brown and handsome in cowboy boots and hat with a rope in his hand and knot around his neck. My secret corner when Mr. Levine let me stay for as long as I liked, whenever the class had library time, was where I wanted to build my life size dollhouse. Mhm. 10 Poetry Lane, Fulton Elementary School, Hempstead, New York, 11550. At age 15, poetry became the voice through which I could speak about injustices and the things that tore me. I could write about Ricky being a victim of not racially motivated, but straight up police craziness. I could manipulate dialect, rhyme, and rhythm to show the world that sometimes when a black man says, I just want to be on my way and I don't want trouble, he means just that. He is not to be feared, but left alone. My poetry helped me grieve the loss of a friend, a good man who was like a good brother, big brother. Through a sonnet, I could honor his beautiful wife, Tracy, who was a sister to me. I have placed the laughter we shared in a poetical music box that, when it's not too painful, Tracy and I can open it and release the arguments that always made us love each other more. Many shows at CW Post, me and all the Macargo models spinning and working the runway and, well, our dreams. Poetry has filled the trenches in my life with a substance that I can now walk on. This substance is love that hurts, laughter that saddens, shadows which frighten me at night, the voices I can never forget, the teachers that indulge me, the cousins I played with, the mother and aunt who nurtured me, the father that played bongos, wind instruments, and sang to me. My yesterday and today are no longer separated. I can now walk back and forth between the two. Being Boricua Morena and Native American has come with a huge price, and my pocketbook is stressed at times by memories, the history of my people, the trying to think past all the societal brainwashing and psychological bull that are handed down through the generations. However, I will continuously reach down in the corners of my purse for every penny I possess to pay that daily ransom. I love being Boricua Morena. I love being Native American. I love my African ancestors. People say that people of color live full lives, experiencing things that some may only read about. It is through suffering that one acquires soul, said Nassau Community College professor Dr. Jenkins. This is why Russians, like African Americans, are a soulful people. I say poetry is a mirror image of the soul. And every time I think about it, my heart folds in on itself and I want to cry. And then I just want to laugh. And then I just want to feel. So, everybody, that is my Ars Poetica. It's what poetry means to me.
Wow.
Thank you so much. That
Oh,
was fun. Thank you. Thank you, Retel Songbird. So, what we're going to do, okay, is we are going to bring you to the platform. We're going to bring you to the platform. I think after you, Eric Frazier and Claire Harris will be checking in. Oh, you know what? Eric is here now. So, you know what? Let's bring Eric to the platform, okay? All righty. I just saw him pop in. All righty. Hi, Eric. How are you?
Hello, how you doing, my sister?
Good, good, good. You fooled me. I thought you were off in Facebook land somewhere. So I said, oh, we're gonna have to bring Miss True Blood to the table. I'm saving her though, because she's doing songwriter. She's a songwriter, and she has a wonderful video that I can't wait to play a clip of, called "Wake Up." But right now, we're blessed to have you checking in with us, and I don't know where to start because, like you, Tiff, Eric wears so many different hats.
I'm
He
bald
wears so,
today.
he wears so many different hats. So he is a singer songwriter as well, musician, and he also has a television show called Cultural Spectrums and Jazz Pearls, in which he invites some of the, like those jewels in jazz, those musicians, those heavy musicians, that I don't know, you just don't get to meet on a regular basis. They are legendary. There's no other way to put it. And he also is the author of a book. So I'm going to let him explain and hold up a copy of his book, hopefully, if he has it.
Right
There.
there.
Nice.
It's called A New Educational Paradigm. And I'm very, very happy to let everybody know about it because it's the way of the future. It talks about how to do education for a country, a state, a city, a municipality, a local school district, a school, a community. And it involves all of the stakeholders, which includes the children, the parents, the teachers, the supervisors and administrators, and so on. And it talks about, first of all, having leadership. We've never had anyone who to take the leadership for education in our country. None of our presidents have filled that role, and we're still waiting because we know that in any organization, in any business concern or corporation, when you want to have change, it comes from the top. It doesn't come from the bottom, not from the classroom. When it comes from the top, then you know it's going to go down. So what is important is commitment. People got to be committed. If they want to see change in education, especially people at the top, they got to be committed to go ahead and follow through with that change. And one of the things that's necessary with it is to take initiative with that leadership and follow through regarding people who are supposed to be doing their jobs, seeing that they do their jobs. And that's called oversight. People have job descriptions. Hey, let's check everybody that they're doing their jobs. And if we're on top of that, that helps a lot. The other thing is the teamwork. It's seeing that there's teamwork. Everybody's on the same page, from the state to the city to the government, the federal government to local school districts to the schools to the parents and teachers. Everybody on the same page, and that means being connected with the values of education. What is education supposed to teach? Okay, and there's things like a value for learning, a value for lifelong learning, a value for study, a value for academics, a value for relationships, a value for understanding and for having conversations, a value for uh, uh, taking uh, pride and note of people who have other cultures, and all of these things. Well, have we learned that? Who? And so you can see at the bottom of my book, it says that people you thought were educated were trained and not educated. And the opening chapter talks about the difference between someone who's trained and someone who is educated. Okay, so the trained person will do the same thing every time, regardless of the situation. The educated person will take into consideration the environment, the considerations, and connected with what is going on that they have to act in a certain situation or for a certain reason. So
Mhm.
and so we want to know who's at home. Let's see. The other thing we want to talk about is connected with the why should someone want to read a book like this? Well, first of all, I talk about 46 reasons why you should want to read a book like this.
Mhm.
And second, because I am appalled. Now, my background is as a educational supervisor and administrator, and my proficiency is in um, policy decision making, making decisions, making policies. And in doing that, you can look at every kind of organization you could think of. Anytime there's more than one person involved in doing an endeavor, all of these things come into play. So a new educational paradigm is designed for us to do what we say that we're about. That's what it's about, and
Mhm.
and move on with that. So, hey, check it out. Go to www.neweducationalparadigm.com and see what I'm talking about. See what's going on, and then take a look at what's happening right now.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Thank you. So, everyone, I believe that this book even made it to the First Lady's desk, if I'm not mistaken,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah,
I
yeah.
saw a beautiful letter that she wrote to you, congratulating on your work and showing appreciation for that book. So,
That was her
congrats.
husband, President Biden.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I asked her to share it in the family, and she did.
Did
and
she?
uh, and he wrote the letter, about me taking the initiative to do something like that. And
Yeah.
of course, nothing's actually been being done on that note, but we have to get a groundswell. I've been speaking to educators all over New York City and in the Midwest as well,
Mhm.
regarding this new educational paradigm. And we need leaders, people who come up to change the paradigm, people who are not afraid to go against the grain, and
Mhm.
that's what it takes. And something like that will affect everything. It'll affect the whole perspective of people in the country. We have too many people that don't know the history of our country, that don't
Yeah.
know science, and these
Yeah.
things are plaguing us right now. These issues are big right now for us. Global warming. We've never had half of the kids being able to read. What what's up
That's
with that?
nonsense.
You know. So
Yeah.
we got people doing jobs. Who's checking? Who's checking that the jobs are being done? Who's
Yeah.
helping them? Where's the support? So they need to hear from me. I got people who are hiding from me. Like I haven't heard from the Secretary of Education. I've heard from
Mhm.
the president. I've heard from the governor, Governor Hochul of New York. I've heard from the mayor, Mayor Adams of New York. And some people need to stand up and speak up and be about trying to uh, make things right.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, everybody. So you heard it. If you want to check out any of my books, just visit our website www.waip like in Peter -inc.org. And if you want to check out this very, very important book that everybody should have, right? Eric, can you just say the website one more time?
Yeah, it's called www.neweducationalparadigm.com. And not only have I written a book, I in the way that I carry on in my life, I try to exemplify what I'm talking about in that book. So anybody who knows me, once you read that book, you know exactly what's going
You know exactly who wrote it. Who?
on. Yeah, yeah.
Well, listen,
So,
Eric, we want to thank you so much for stopping by. As you know,
very
we are definitely celebrating poets, songwriters, and authors like yourself today. And thank you for writing such an important book for the community, you know.
yes,
And Eric will also be opening our festival in August with the drum tribute to. We haven't forgotten about you, George Floyd. So we will be doing our drum tribute, and Miss Trueblood usually does the pouring of libations, right, and honoring the ancestors. So you guys, it's really just such a beautiful expression of honor and gratitude to our ancestors and love that you don't want to miss that opening ceremony with these two. With that said, Eric, you know, we are so grateful for you, sending you virtual hugs.
good.
And we're going to
Oh,
absolutely.
thank
And
you. Right back at you.
yeah, yeah. But Miss Trueblood and I, we're going to back up off the platform just for a little bit,
Hi, Miss
right?
Goodbye.
Before Claire Harris comes on, because you know I got to have you sing my favorite song before you go. right?
Oh, yes, yes.
Right. With Food for Love. So everybody, this is the other side of Eric Frazier. And while you're listening to him sing this song, please go ahead and visit that website. Say it one more time, Eric.
www.neweducationalparadigm.com.
All righty. All right. So listen, you go ahead and croon like only you can do, okay?
I just want to say this to you. There I
Thank
go, there I go, there I go, there I go. Pretty baby, you are the soul that snaps my control. Such a funny thing, but every time you're near me, I never can behave. You give me a smile and then I'm wrapped up in your magic. There's music all around me, crazy music, music that keeps calling me so very close to you. Turns me your slave. Come and do anything you want to. Anything, baby, just let me get next to you. Am I insane? Or do I really see heaven in your eyes? Bright as the stars that shine up above you in the clear blue skies. How I worry about you, just can't live my life without you. Oh, baby, come here. Don't have no fear. Oh, is there a wonder why? I'm really feeling in the mood for love. So tell me why. Stop to think about this weather, my dear. This little dream might fade away. There I go, talking out of my head. Oh, pretty baby, won't you come and put our two hearts together? Ooh, that would make me strong and real. Ooh, when we are one, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. If there's a cloud up above us, go on and let it rain. I'm sure our love together will endure a hurricane. Oh, my baby, won't you please let me love you and get a relief from this awful misery? What is all this talk about loving me, my sweet? I am not afraid, not anymore, not like before. Won't you understand me now, baby? Please pull yourself together, do it soon. My soul's on fire. Come on and take me. I'll be what you make me, my darling, my sweet. Oh, baby, you make me feel so good. Let me take you by the hand. Come, let us travel out there in that new promised land. Maybe there we can find a good place to use a loving state of mind. I'm so tired of being without and never know what love's about. Well, Sudani, you can come on in and finish the show if you want to. I'm through. There I go, there I go, there I go. Thank you.
Oh, Sadanya, you're muted. But that was so beautiful, Mr. Eric Frazier.
Thank
That
you.
was, I mean, the words are so powerful and loving and beautiful. I really enjoyed that. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you,
you.
my sister.
Yes.
Much
I
love.
see why
Much
Sadanya says it's her favorite by you.
yeah. Wonderful.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Listen, we're going to bring in, as we're bringing in Claire Harris, right? You have a wonderful evening, Mr. Frazier. And
Thank
listen,
you. You
Muscanow,
too.
no, I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
All
God bless.
right.
God bless.
God bless. Hi, Claire. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. You're looking beautiful with that orange background and your orange, clothing to match.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I was just enjoying Eric's singing too.
Yeah.
I love that song as well.
Well, that's a classic from it for anybody that lived in New York or is from New York, right? Because who was it?
It
Was it Frankie Crocker or somebody used to close with that?
was Frankie Crocker.
Yes, he was
Yeah.
a DJ personality.
Mhm.
famous in New York, you know, every time, because Miss True Blood is from North Carolina. So every time Frankie Crocker would close his radio session, you know, he would end with that song. So we
Yeah,
all, so many of us grew up with his segment ending with that, you know, moving for love.
exactly. Exactly. It's funny because I was trying to think of whose theme song it was, but yeah, it was Frankie Crocker, of course.
Yes,
Mhm.
Frank Chief Rocker, right? Well, listen, Claire,
Mhm,
we brought you on today, and so um, to talk about something really, really special, and it's wonderful that you're following Eric Fraser,
mhm,
um, because you have another powerful textbook that you put
mhm,
together, but
mhm.
it's actually a calendar,
Yes.
right? So, can you just tell our viewing audience a little bit more about it? But, everybody, I want you to know that this calendar is a must have. And so, what the World Alliance of Indigenous Peoples is doing so that we can make it available to all of our viewing audience, right,
Mhm.
is that if you go to our website, you make a standard donation, we will send you that calendar as a thank you. And it is worth way more than the standard donation. Trust me on that.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
visit www.waip-inc.org and get that standard donation in so we can get you your calendar. Trust me, mine is right here. Excuse me, I'm sliding off screen. I don't normally break camera frame for that, but I want to show everybody that I too have my calendar.
Good. And
Yeah,
here it is.
it is. And so I'm going to let Claire, you know, talk about all of this going on.
Mhm,
Just tons of information in this calendar. Okay.
mhm. Wow. Well, thank you. And I'm happy to follow Eric because it really is a good segue into what we're offering, the 2024 Black Facts calendar. And the reason that we focus on the fact that it's a textbook in calendar format, one reason is that that's the way it was contracted with the New York City Board of Education. You know,
Mm.
they looked at it as a textbook in calendar format. So there are, I mean, every day, there is a short biography, a three-line biography of a person born on that day. It tells the person's name, of course, the person's occupation or profession, as well as the person's state, uh, city and state of birth, as well as their year of birth. And the reason that I say that and I highlight that, it's because when children look at the calendar, they can see that there are so many areas that we as African Americans, Africans, Afro Caribbeans, there are so many areas that we have impacted. I mean, you have people who are architects, who are government people, who are teachers, who are et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, so that children growing up don't think that they can only go into sports or they can only go into entertainment.
Right.
Nothing against that, but we want to broaden their horizons. So every day, all 366 days of 2024, they can see different occupations, professions. Also in the calendar, and I will turn to one of them. Um, there are 12 profiles. This particular one is on Clara Brown, who many people probably never heard of. And there are other people in here that you may have heard of. But it's important, again, that people know how much we have impacted history, American history, how deeply African American, Africans, Afro Americans, Indigenous people have impacted the history of our country. So it's a learning experience. Every day, there are categories of questions that relate to how we have contributed to the history. Sundays, the categories of questions deal with inventions. Monday, the categories deal with women
Gotcha.
and contributions that we have made. Tuesday, the contributions deal with African American firsts. Wednesday, the categories of questions deal with education. And Thursday, questions related to Africans and Afro Caribbeans, so that there is that mix of questions related to that. Fridays, the questions deal with sports, and Saturdays, the questions deal with entertainment. Now, the inside back cover, which I'll show you, it's really hard to see, but the inside back cover has answers to the questions that were raised each day. So that if you're not familiar with it, if you don't know the answer, you can look it up. Which is why we say you can use this calendar book in so many forms. You can use it as a game to test your knowledge. You can use it in the classroom as a tool to enhance the Black history that seems a lot of people seem to be trying to erase out of the curriculum. So teachers can use this. Anybody who wants to enhance their knowledge of how we have contributed to the history of this country, it's going to be, I don't want to say a blessing, but it will be a great enhancement to what they already know and what they will know further on in the future.
Gotcha.
The front page of the calendar is a collage. The collage is known as, the title of it is Emancipation. And what it is, there are 122, I'm going to say, characters, images, signs, posters, somehow related to the history. And when you look at the back cover of the calendar, each of those images or photos are numbered. So you can then, if you don't know who the people are or what the image represents, you can find the answers right here. Okay.
Awesome.
So it really is. Before I go, though, I have to pay tribute to the person who originated the Black Facts calendar. His name is Ed Lee. Unfortunately, he's now deceased, but he started the calendar in 1989 and produced a calendar every single year up through 2018.
Wow.
Yeah. My husband, Jesse, and I decided to continue his legacy in a sense. We produced the 2020 calendar, and then now we've produced the 2024 calendar.
Yes.
So it's something, it was, his idea was research. His thing was research. And so he had all this information and put it into this book calendar format.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely, it was definitely such a brilliant idea because I just know that when I went to school, like to have a book with this amount of information in it, it would be so heavy,
Yeah.
So to put this in this format and have the day, with information, it's also a great way for students to learn a little bit about, history that, we should be proud of, Black and Brown history, because you get just a little bit each day. You know what I mean? So if the child comes up and looks at the calendar that day, then remember that fact for that day. And by the time you get to 365, you know, the student will know so much about history that they've never, ever, you know, are going to learn in school. I'm sorry. You know, 28 days of Black History Month is not enough to cover it. You know what I
It
mean?
is not. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So we're proud of it. We are happy that it's producing. We're happy to have this platform to introduce it to more people. And I mean, I can't say enough about it without my chest really puffing up.
right. Listen, we are extremely blessed and honored to have you here. I mean, you paid your dues in the educational system, I guess, industry.
Mhm.
You know, serving as a college professor, right?
Yes.
And retiring also in that field.
Hmm.
Definitely paid your dues.
Hmm.
And, you know, we are glad and we're so blessed that you have decided to take on this legacy. That is the spirit of the World Alliance too, and Soft Chorus Festivals, which will be coming up in 20 days on August 19th.
Hmm.
Um, the founder of that festival, Dr. Akila Karima, passed away. And when she passed away, she, you know, came to me and she said, Sadanya, if something should happen to me, I want you to take over the festival. So,
Absolutely.
you know, we definitely understand and have tried to do our very best to live up to the legacy that was placed in our hands as well. It's not easy when you have such big shoes to fill. You know,
That's true. That's for sure.
but we
That's
do
for sure.
we do
Yeah.
our best.
Yeah.
So with that said, I want to thank you for stopping by, everyone. Again, visit our website to get, you know, so that we can put that calendar in your hand. There's not a student that starts school this year that should start without this, because they will get books, they will get science books, they will get English books, they will get history books, but they will not get anything like this. It is a beautiful work. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Yes, and blessings to Mr. Harris. I know he's in the background, not too far.
That's
And,
right. You
yeah.
want to say something?
I want to say,
And of course, he'd like to say something.
yes.
Don't fall.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, hi, this is not the history aspect of the calendar, but this is, you know, typical America. I'm a veteran, and I just got some notice the other day that people, and this is Anya, you should pay close attention to this, who were paying, what is it?
The copay.
The copay on their medical VA, what is it? Their VA medical, they were paying copays for a long time. The VA is stopping that for people who are native people to this country. So they say American Indians and Alaskan Indians will not have to pay copays anymore.
Well, you know
And
what?
wait, let me finish.
Yeah.
They go back to January 2nd, I think it is, of 2022. And those monies and funds should be reimbursed to those people who pay those copays.
Right.
Thank you so much. I will let our family know. We do have some veterans in our family. So thank you so much. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You know, just continue blessings to you both, you know.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you. Our words can't express what it means that to us that you've joined us today. So have a wonderful evening, and listen, Muscanow, Wyoming, we will see you soon.
Yes, you absolutely will. Thank you again.
Take care now.
All righty. Bye-bye. Bye, Tiffany.
Wow. So what do you think about that calendar?
Powerful to get one.
Yes, absolutely. You're gonna love it. You're absolutely gonna love it. And so it's so funny. So we had Eric Frazier come by with his book.
Mhm.
We have Claire Harris that came by with the calendar.
Mhm.
I want to take this time now because I think in one of the videos that you produce, one of the videos, right? You do so much work. You kind of touch on that idea too, that it is our responsibility to, govern it by, however we can, what our kids are learning in school.
That's right.
Yeah, so I definitely I'm going to cue that up. It is what the creator wanted to display because every time I tried to bring up the covers of my book, your video came up. So he is really trying to get this video up and showing to our viewing audience today. So hold on one second. But guys, you're going to love this video. This is from well, you know what? Let you, right, talk about this, what this song and this video.
Okay, so Wake Up is my first original music video. I am featuring a hip hop artist out of Staten Island, New York, who goes by H2O Av. And when he heard the snippet, he said, Tiff, I got to get on that track with you.
Inspire, huh?
And his addition to the track brought it out even more. Um,
Okay.
his flow is so amazing, and what his lyrical addition, it was just perfect. So the song is definitely about the matrix we're living in, our educational system, things that we are pressured to do by the news, by the so-called leaders and these so-called elites, what the agendas that they push on us. But it is our responsibility to govern our own mental government. Govern your own mental. Be strong enough to look deep inside of yourself and do what you know is right for you, regardless of what society is doing around you. So, this is about having your own mind, not being afraid to live it according to your truth that the Creator gave to you. Because we all have different perspectives. Yeah, it may be easy to be a sheep, but at times when it's invading your human rights, you need to definitely step up, have your own mind, and teach your children to do the same because they're brainwashing us, they're indoctrinating us, they're programming us, and we are getting more and more and more colonized and out of tune with nature. With
Ah,
nature.
see,
You
now
know,
that's powerful right there. Out of tune with nature. Uh,
yes.
so much pollution, so much, so many animals, when you're driving from New York to out here, right? You see so many deer just sprawled out all over the place, from trucks hitting them. So that's real talk right there. I mean, that kind of like poof, you drop the microphone with that one. We're out of tune with nature and we are part of nature. So how can we feel that we can function
Mm-hmm.
without being in tune with nature,
We can.
So,
Yeah, we
but
can.
let me see if I can, get this going because it wanted to show earlier. And I was like, not yet, not yet. So let's see. All right, everyone. I hope that you guys can see this.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up, because they coming for your head. Wake from your sleep, because if you don't, you'll soon be dead.
Yeah. Grateful to not appear bitter. Conscious that the world is a place that impairs vision. Reactive and abrupt like a hair trigger. In pursuit of my dreams, I'm career driven. Yeah, free form with my dialogue. Delighted the network like a Viacom. Net worth on the rise. Keep your eyes open like surprise sparks fly the entire song. Clickbait or the big picture. You stay asleep, they tuck you in the same instant. Powerful regimes. We throw rocks when we rage against the machine just to gain inches. You really willing to die? You ready to be the villain or pretend like you live? It's only natural that you thought you could fly. Extend your wings and go soar the blue skies.
No, they're coming for your mind again. Wake up, darling. Why are you still sleeping? Because the mind is such a powerful thing to hide. So don't give it away. Coming for your mind. They're coming for your head. They're programming your thoughts. So just wake up instead. They're coming for your mind. They're coming for your head. They're programming your thoughts. So just wake up instead. Brainwashing our children in the schools. Brainwashing the masses with the news. It's time to stand up and make choices for ourselves. Giving fake visual standards. The children are watching, the children are listening. Oh, poisoning our minds daily, feeding us so many lies. It's up to us to remove the veil over the eye and tap inside of the truth that's inside. Wake up, because they coming for your head. Break the chains of mental slavery. Wake from your sleep. Cause if you don't, you'll soon be dead. You know they're coming for your mind again. Wake up, darling. Why are you still sleeping? Pay attention. Because the mind is such a powerful thing to hide.
Yes. So that is Miss True Blood.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That song is so powerful, and yeah, I okay, here we go, here we go. Let's see if we can get it back now. But Tiffany, so when you wrote that song, you know what I mean? Um, what inspired you to write it?
Oof. Let me be careful how I say this. It was in 2020. It was in 2020. So think about what we were globally going through in 2020. And I
Mm-hmm.
already had foresight of the direction everything would go in spiritually, because
Okay.
I strive to stay connected to nature and therefore in tune with my higher self so that I can see clearly through the agendas. And I saw so many people around me falling victim to the agendas, intellectual people, educated people, religious people, it didn't matter. People of every background was falling victim left and right to the agenda. And so you can get a message across in song a lot better than trying to push your beliefs or your knowing, your truth on someone else as another educated person who may be aware of things that's going on behind the scene, but people in general were too close to hear it because they were too hypnotized by the
Mm-hmm.
news and by the so-called scholars that make the mainstream media, instead
Got
of scholars behind the scenes who are not on the mainstream media, who were pushing the truth from day one. So I said, let me write a song about it, and
yeah,
it'll reach. I can't
yeah,
control who it reaches, but it'll reach who it'll reach. And those who get it, get it. Those who don't, won't. and it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, it is okay,
Yeah.
And so there is a quote. I'm not going to quote it because everybody would know exactly where it came from, and I just don't want to bring that dynamic into this right now. Um, but I'll say it in my own way. And sometimes you say something to people,
Mhm.
and those that are meant to hear it.
That's right.
And those that don't, you make peace with that and realize it's just not meant for their ears.
It's not.
So, there was a very famous prophet that everybody studies that says something similar. And that was one of his teachings that is true. Those who have the ears to hear, let them hear. And those who don't, they just won't, right?
Yeah. They'll get it in their own time, and hopefully it's not too late for them when they do.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to just, I know that the poet B.GKL is about to step onto the platform. But I do have a couple of questions for you before he does. So, Brother GKL, if you are out there, we're about to bring you on to the platform. But I want to ask you because I've listened to your music for years now, and there is something that in it that is just so honest, so vulnerable,
Oh yeah.
you know. And so I know that and maybe we can ask the poet B.GKL when he comes on about this question too, because for me, I've been writing since I was very, very small, right? And
Mhm.
as growing up as, just an only child growing up at that age, I would play this game where I would be, let's say, Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, right? And it's just me playing with myself. And so I would be him, Martin Luther King, and then I'll have a debate with Malcolm X. And
Mhm.
what that trained me to do since the age of 5 was to see things from other people's perspective. So when I write, I love to write characters and actually bring those characters to life. Like, what would this character say? What would this character do? How would they feel? That is my writing style. So a lot of the things I wrote a poem in college called called Diana.
Mhm.
And after the professor read it, he came up to me. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. You've been through a lot." He assumed that the poem was about my sister who committed suicide. I've never had a sister that committed suicide, but just being able to write authentically from that point, that's what motivates me. But it seems like yours is more personal when you write,
Mhm. Yeah.
you know. And so can you just talk about that for a little bit? Because it seems like music is your therapy and writing is your therapy, but it just seems so authentic, so personal, and so vulnerable.
Yes, that's true. And even though I do have um, a life coach I can go to for counsel, um, let's face it, I don't do life coaching every week and every month as needed when I'm just a little overwhelmed to help me organize my thoughts. But one thing I can say, I've gotten enough training and coaching and therapy in my life through my own healing process and inner work that I can coach myself through a lot of situations now.
Mhm.
And one way I do that is I write. Sometimes I will turn literally, sometimes my journaling comes out as music. Um,
Mhm.
So it is very personal. Like my song called Soul Grow, not Soul Glow, from the classic movie
Right.
Coming to America, not Soul Glow, but Soul Grow.
Mhm.
That's one of my favorite songs because I was heartbroken at the time. And to help me get over someone who I allowed to come into my life and spend too much time in my life and therefore breaking my heart.
Mhm.
Um, in order to get over that person, I actually wrote Soul Grow for me, you know,
Nice.
and
Yes.
it helped me. After I wrote it, just halfway wrote it, I would just sit and listen to it before I ever released it, and I would cry to it. And then
Wow.
I would write more. And so then I wrote the whole song, and most of the songs on my first album that I actually released to the public, Awakening, most of those are affirmations and ministering to myself,
Gotcha.
because
Gotcha.
I was going through a tough time at that time, or the year before, 2019, as well as 2020. And so I wrote those songs between those 2 years, and released them in 2020. Well, no, I released the album 2021. February 2021 was when I finally released the album. And the growth of it, that's why I call it Awakening, seeing what I was to learn in these situations, these couple of situations that took a toll on me, and then coming out on top because I was able to tap into myself and be back in tune with my higher self and say, okay, well, I learned this. Now you go ahead and you live your life and you shine in a way that you know that you can, even
Hmm.
without that person, or without this situation that you thought was for you.
Hmm.
So yeah, it is very personal. It is my therapy, but sometimes I can write about just situations that I see happening around me that's not as personal, because, like, Wake Up, for example, that's something, a message that I wanted to give to the people, you
Hmm.
know.
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, why don't you tell everybody where they can, and thank you for sharing that. I think it's a blessing when you can heal yourself through your art, but then you, in healing yourself, you're also healing others, because we always sometimes think that we are the only ones that are going through something, or, why is this happening to me? And what we don't realize at that moment that you're saying, why is this happening to me? There are probably a million other people saying the same thing. Why is this happening to me? And so if you can actually hear each other's voices in that moment, you would know that you're not alone.
Right.
That there are other people going through exactly what you're going through. So I
Hmm.
think it's wonderful when you could put out a piece of work, um, that not only brings healing to you when you write it, when you create it, when you express it, but then on the other end of that, right, there's going to be healing for someone else,
That's right.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. So before we bring the brother B dot, well, I said the brother, right? Before we bring the poet B dot GKL um, onto the platform, why don't you tell everybody where they can get this beautiful music of yours?
All music platforms. You can look up my name, Tiffany Trueblood, on every music platform, including YouTube, including um, Apple Music, Spotify, um, I believe Diesel, Title, everywhere. Like, all music platforms, you can look up
Awesome.
and you can find my music. And please stream, please download,
Mhm.
support independent artists. We greatly appreciate it. A lot of love and time and financial investment goes into these projects.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to piggyback off of that, everybody, the World Alliance of Indigenous Peoples, that's what we aim to do. We want to bring these artists and in front of you from around the world. And some countries, uh, these artists may not really have a chance to thrive as artists. It's hard here in the United States. It's hard, you
Yeah.
know, but uh, to be able to help them, by allowing them to come onto this platform and express their gift, is truly a gift to us. And so we are grateful for Miss True Blood and her wonderful music. And guys, you got to rush out and you got to download it. That's it. That's it. You want to be blessed by what blessed her. That's what you need to do. All right. So with that said, let's bring the brother GKL to the platform, guys. This poet is just unbelievable. Uh, there's no words to describe his talent, his gift, and his brain. It's got to be like, I don't know. It must be heavy because the knowledge that he shares with people is just so much up in his brain. I'm like, how it's got to be heavy up in there. How's he holding his head up?
Cold blooded.
How are you?
What's going on? How y'all? I look, don't be buttering me up, y'all. Now, don't do that to me now. Like the line, watch yourself.
I do wonder about you. I'm like, are you even human?
Don't do me like I can't be blushing. I'm trying to, be the poet right now. You got me blushing and stuff like, don't be doing that stuff.
No, that's real talk. I mean, when you open up that book, right, it's like bam, and then all this knowledge and creativity just comes and just it's just like how, and like some people, they just they're anointed. I'm gonna they're blessed. There's no other way to, regardless of what your religious faith is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use the word anointed because you can have a gift, but then when it goes to the next level, that there's some sort of spiritual divinity walking with this person. And so that's why I said your head must be heavy to to carry.
You see it. It ain't small. I'm trying to tell you, it ain't small. Now, let's not fake that. I had to catch, my body had to catch up with it, but let me stop.
Yeah, no, you good though.
Peace.
Yeah.
That's love, though.
Yeah. So listen, why don't you tell us a little bit about your book? I mean, let's start with the title.
Okay. You talking about that book over here I got on the side? Okay, let me grab that right quick.
Over there.
You got your copy, Sedania.
Oh, right. Watch yourself. Look at it. No, honestly, the infinite mind of life, you know what I'm saying? I had to take my time. A lot of people always say live, but it's fine, but it's pronounced life, and I wanted it, certain things in a certain way. It's the reason why I put it like that. But this particular book in itself, I wanted to create something that resonates with everybody. And I want to dive too deep into it, but I want to give enough saying that I wanted to speak the language. Sometimes when you talk at people politically, or when you jab at people spiritually, or when you talk to people love-wise, romantic advice, I say, maybe I got to speak the language. People interact to entertainment. So you entertain them like we was talking about earlier with characters and different themes and setting it up so detailed to the point that you can almost smell what you're writing. You can see what you're writing if it's detailed enough, you use the right words. You can entertain people while giving them positive notes. And if you ever heard of spinning the album backwards where it would play negative stuff, I wanted to do it with a book where it was spinning backwards and playing positive stuff. So while you're reading, there's a message behind a message within a message. So there are onions. So when you read it, you're going to feel good about yourself regardless. And you don't know why, because it's worded that way.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So it's infinite. That's the word I wanted. It's endless. You know what I mean? It never stops. It has to keep going because it don't ever stop till you transition. So that's kind of why I wanted to make this book. Quotes, stories, short stories, just anything that's needed. Everything is in this one book in this one language of entertainment, but there's a hidden message, positive hidden message.
That's wonderful. Listen, why don't we do this? Just to give everybody, just a taste of what it is that you do. And we're going to back up off the platform because I just want people to experience you just for a couple of minutes. Okay. And then we can come back and, chat it up a little bit before we bring Demigod on. But I want them to experience you. And this way, when we're talking to you and we're asking these questions, they'll, understanding of what we're talking about.
Before you zone out, I want to say one thing. I want to appreciate, my awesome sister, Tiffany True Blood, for even introducing me to WAIP. You understand? To, Mrs. Flowing Water. You understand? Because at the end of the day, I'm honored, and may everybody that came before and coming after me on this show today, man, see y'all positive vibes because we all need it. So I'm thankful. I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you. Thank you. So, with that said, everybody, this is the poet B.GKL.
All right. I'm gonna put me on the full screen. All right. If y'all do or don't got the book, I'm gonna read to you anyway mentally. You know what I'm saying? This will be page 199. And it's a particular reason why I decided to pick this particular piece because it's a mix of spoken word and poetry. I always said it can't be written, but if you write spoken word, everything doesn't have to rhyme, but people will feel it. This particular piece is called Your Supreme Word Conjurer is Here. And that is the title. As I take the simple text and strain the simplex genre from its sentence, while twisting the words to become what I command, other than using ironed out words for paper that is meant to eat vocabulary with pencil lead that makes it feel wrinkly and gritty sometimes. Dictionary enslaved to my bidding, presenting me with the most optimal way to transfer my steeping outside the cookie cutter box. Just to challenge my title and make complex easily sound and interwoven to become the same. Thesaurus turning love into emotion, hate to distaste, and fortune to circumstances. Conjuring words to conspire with sound and video communication, making two, and two echo like mathematic obligation. Of six when it's different but caressed and identical. Mastering the speech of hidden language through poet rhythms and spoken word guidance, with the candy smell of stories being unwrapped into a sweet tooth of many. The remarkable ways of my words are conjured from the blaze of my core through the strings of bass chords. Conjuring lyric of defined definition and giving it the feeling to shout from the most secret places within my head of textual matter. Allowing the lines to conflict and dispute against the synthesis of deranged ideas to make words speak my terminology. Burning pages of my old poems over a candle of renewal to watch my words ignite over eyes while watching the wind read the pages of my past thoughts. Reading the last page as it burns away in my hand with a subtle blow to the universe. Engraving so much energy into what isn't written against the tree turned to paper. Using my words to water the thirst of what shall be printed, ink forever. I am the rumble of storms gifted with the lexicon built in the soul of my three fingers. Thumb, index, middle finger holds on to the pen strokes to paint my world. I conjured all words the world shall read from the tears of my late hour eyes. My nature is to bring words from my body and teach me to walk through life in place of myself after I am put to rest to perform for the universe as an old soul. I shall walk to the stage of all the stars and speak out loud to say, your supreme word conjurer is here. I am your author, the poet B.GKL. Brother GKL, that is, Gold King Life. And that is your supreme word conjurer is here from the infinite mind of life. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
Go get the snaps. Go give me the snap.
Powerful, man. Powerful.
I appreciate that, y'all. Don't be like that.
Oh, Sadanya, you're muted. Oh.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. That was brilliant. And so we just, I talked about, my creative process. And so I just want to ask you, about yours. Are you like, what motivates you to write the way you do or moves you? I mean, that's a very general question, but sometimes that's the question you need to ask. Like, what motivated you? When did you pick up your pen? When did you know that you had this enormous gift?
Well, be honest with you. I did a lecture on that a little bit. I was talking about I wrote just really. I don't want to take up too much of your time and nothing like that, but writing gangster rap.
Mm,
That's how I started first, and I wrote a rap when I was probably like 17 or 16. It was so gruesome because I'm good with metaphors and twisting words, even at that age at the time, but I used them so negatively. I was in a bathroom writing it to my father, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, you know what I'm saying? Before he passed away or whatever, it was probably like 2 months after I left it in the bathroom by mistake and he read it. I
mm,
never been seen so much disappointment and encouragement at the same time in a man's face that I respected and a man that I would never cross. And he said, you got to do something different. You better than this.
wow.
Do the right thing was his thing. And 2005, he was killed on a motorcycle by a drunken driver, you know what I'm saying, while he was riding his motorcycle from the motorcycle club. And before he died, I spent 4 months on writing a poem, reading the dictionary, reading the source, trying to find the right words to impress my father. And when I called him, he died on Father's Day.
Wow.
And he was murdered on Father's Day. And 5 days before that, I was supposed to be on a motorcycle with him. And I read him this poem that's inside of my book. It's called Music and Poetry, and the book that I just read, and it's dedicated to him inside of it. And I made my father go quiet.
Wow.
You understand? He's already a quiet man. I made him silence himself, and he talking around to my stepmother and say, you need to hear this.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And you ask what the motivation is that I will never stop until my fingers hurt.
Mm,
I'm going to keep writing until I can't write no more, even if I'm helping somebody else. So my mechanism of working is I always think about those words. What would have happened if I hadn't listened? So my thing is never to be predictable. I always have to be unpredictable. Read other people's stuff, read philosophy, read anything you could think of, knowledge, wisdom, and put it into your work. Don't just give people something to listen to and read. Give them something that they can get something out of. And I think about my dad. Do the right thing. Do better than this. So I challenge myself with my own work every day. So my motivation is listening to 432 hertz of music while I write. And I use the certain vibe or whatever that song might be to help me conjure the words. Because if you listen to the beat will always tell you what it wants to be written to. And
absolutely.
that's what a lot of people lost. So that's like my full-on motivation is I work better in pain. When I
Mm,
think about the things that I've been to, because it makes me want to find bliss. You know what I mean? When you think about the things that you're going through, it motivates you to want to get peace. So I write about, even if it's a harsh poem, I'm going to get these words. And I swear I say words that I've never studied before. Because I always ask the ancestors, I got a mind block. I need your help to write this. Something that I already written that I need help to write with. So you ask your higher self, man, I need you to help me. I already wrote this already. I need you to help me put it on paper now. I'm
Right.
not
right.
advanced yet. I'm trying to get there. So the full motivation is that it's pain. I'm a spawn, so I work better in pain. I work better with a lit candle in darkness. You know what I'm saying? I work with darkness is a good thing because you sleep in it every night. There's nothing bad about it when you just turn the lights out, put the music on, grab the paper and pen, and just let it flow. I like
Mm,
writer's block because it forces you to step outside the box.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's like just straight real talk right there. There have been so many times, especially I wrote this song
Mm,
called Montauk, which is the nation. I am Wolf Clan mother for Sun Squaw Sut of the Montauk tribe of Indians. And
mm,
uh, a friend of hers asked me to write a song. And, he told me what he wanted the song to be about, but I had not begun to write in, culturally yet in that way,
Right.
you know. And then when I heard the music, of course, it's different from what I'm vibing to off the radio.
Mhm.
And I
Mm.
just remember just being like, this is something I have to do, but I'm lost in this. I'm stuck. You
Right.
know, I don't know. And then I basically said that prayer that sometimes we writers have to say, Creator, I need you to help me with this. I need you to open up my
Hmm.
mind. And as soon as I said it, boom, that song came just like that. And I had spent weeks saying, I can't do this. And
Hmm.
then when I acknowledged that I can't do it on my own, that I need to speak to the creator on this one, you
Right.
know. And when he opened up and just showed me, that song came out like nothing.
Yeah.
And so I definitely get exactly everything that you're saying, you know, and writing to music, you know, that's how I started songwriting. Went into the studio and somebody was like, well, is there anybody here that can write a song? And I said,
Right.
I know I can because I'm a poet, you know. So it's
Mm.
wonderful when, you know, we can take our art form and just cross it over into different industries like that, you know, songwriting
Most
or
definitely.
playwriting or screenwriting, you know, just understanding the movement and the rhythms of
Hmm.
words, you know.
Oh, that's
So
in the works too. That's in the works too. You just said screenplay. I'm already on that.
I know you are. I know you are. So, but
Trust me.
yeah, but we're gonna bring Demigod on, you know, and we're gonna ask you if you don't mind if you have a little bit of time to spend with us to stay on with us when we bring him
Oh, for
on.
sure. My
Yeah.
brother up in here, you gonna get it in. You gonna get it in. Then you gotta do your thing,
Oh,
brother.
I have to say this one thing.
Mhm.
The author poet B.GKL is such a dynamic vocalist too.
Oh
Sorry,
snap!
brother.
Just trying to get me. Just
I
trying to
had to
get me.
say it. I had to say it. You don't have to sing. You don't have to sing. But I've heard his rap. I've heard
Mhm.
his spoken word
Mhm.
poetry and his voice when I first heard it. I'm like, he can sing too. No, he can sing too.
Since you know I'm
Right.
a Capricorn, I'm quiet,
I'm
so I don't be
like,
saying nothing. I don't be saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. And so I'm looking forward to working with him musically. I just have to
That's
put
on
that out
me. It's
there.
supposed to happen last year. That's my fault. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff got, a little crazy,
Right.
but
Life
it's
happens,
it's
but it's gonna
good.
happen in divine timing. It will
In
Yeah.
my
happen.
on my word. That's my word on that.
Absolutely. So I had to put that out there. Yes.
Well, I heard him humming the other time when we were you know, doing our thing, preparing for this live.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, yeah, he has the vocals, the butter type vocals, y'all. You know, and they say that's butter. He
They
got
say
those
they say Luther, my cousin. Y'all watch yourself. Luther and Gerald Levert, they all family. I'm in the family. I'm in the family.
relatives. Well, listen, Tiffany, if you don't mind checking in with Demigod to see if he's ready to come on, we're going to let the poet B.GKL tell everybody where, okay, they can get his book.
Okay.
And also, you know, talk to us a little bit about your, the website where they can go and check out your
Okay.
merchandise too.
All right.
All
Well, I appreciate that. Since I got two websites for y'all. That's arthur.bgkl.com. And then you got cvonk.com. That's just like the merch, the shirts, and I do all the graphics work. And if you get your book from me, I mean, I always like to do a little extra, whatever. I got my personalized, bookmarks and everything like that. I had to hand create everything. Okay, I'm trying to get in the camera. Okay.
That's
And they
so
got a
nice.
you know what I
Wow.
mean? Because it's so hard to get bookmarks these days. It's crazy. It's so expensive, man. So I said I'm gonna make my own, put it in there, and just give it to it free. Just thank the person for buying my book, or you can get it from Amazon because we always need the reviews. So that's www.arthurbgkl.com, and then you got www.savonk. It's pronounced Savonk, but it's cvonk.com all together. And then
Wow.
just talk
Nice.
to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. So, you guys heard that. Check out those websites. You will not be disappointed at all. The merchandise that is on the one website is, very artistically done, but it also has an energy of positivity, if that's possible for a
Most
show.
definitely.
Energy of positivity, but it does have an energy of positivity. And the book, as you just heard, is just absolutely phenomenal. So, with
Mm.
that said, we are welcoming our last
That's
author
the breath.
to the platform. Demigod, how are you?
Everything's good. How's everybody today?
Oh, we're good. We're good. We're so excited to have you here. And, you
I've been
know,
watching. I've been watching some powerful people,
yeah, yeah.
powerful words.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. So you're another and so I'm using the word triple because that's cliche, right? But I think we have some quadruple dru- threats up here, you know what I mean? But you are those multi-talented, multi-engaged in life brothers as well.
All
And
right.
so I've gone so we brought you here because you are an author, you have your book, right?
Definitely.
But in doing and digging around and checking you out all over the internet, I also came across your music, and congratulations on your collaboration with Kanye West.
I appreciate
Yeah, I listened to that song as well. And my favorite is that New York Exchange.
it.
So
Oh,
everybody, Demigod is, he's authentic. He's the real deal when we talk about a rapper from New York. Okay. And so there's a flavor and there's that, um, just coming out of our area is there. And so when you think about when rap first jumped off and everybody say jumped off in the boogie down Bronx, right? um you know I was I think, I guess what I'm trying to say is when things explode like they do, so some people will argue and say that rap has been around before the Sugar Hill Gang and all of that, right? But the way I look at it is that, yeah, you did have some really some creatives out there doing rap and stuff, a long time ago before the Sugar Hill Gang and Run DMC and all of that. However, rap exploding on the scene as a genre is a whole different story. See, when they did it, they were just being different and they were just doing it. But when rap exploded on the scene, with Spoonie G, with Grandmaster in the Grandmaster Flash days, um, with the Treacherous Three,
Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane.
Big
Oh, my
Daddy
bad. Go ahead.
Kane, and all of these people, it exploded as a genre, right?
right.
And it
Yeah.
gave young people, okay, um, a chance to just get out whatever that was inside of them. That thing that at times you can feel, oh, you even though you can go outside, you can put your money in the bus and you can get on the front of the bus, right?
Hmm.
Not like Greta Scott King and all of them. It's still something to wearing this brown skin that you do. And so to have a genre like that explode on the scene.
Your mic
Is that me?
breaking up.
Oh, okay. Just to have rap explode on the scene like it did, you know what I mean, to create a genre of music that because of it you have rappers now like Kanye West
Hmm.
that is so financially set, you understand what I mean, and can actually do collaborations and bring people up and go into different acting like Queen Latifah and all of these people. the Fresh Prince. You know, these people started off as rappers, and they were able to take that genre and build a stage for themselves, and then step into different forms of entertainment. You know,
With
it's
so many
powerful.
unique styles, so many unique styles. That's a
Exactly.
lot of good talent.
It's a powerful thing. So we bought Demigod because when I listened to his music, I got so excited because he just it's just home for me, you know. And so I want him to read us a little something something from his book, y'all.
Let's get her done. Let's hear that smoke. Let's get.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
And
this
so
book right here,
talk about the title first.
this book right here was a long time coming. Like I've been saying I want to do a poetry book for like 5 years. And I never really got a chance to get to it. But then I recently lost my mother to COVID, and that made me sit down. I had to come sit down in her space, and because I wasn't living here, so I had to come take over her space and the energy and everything that I had to deal with. By doing that, I had to transmute that energy somehow. So I transmuted that energy into this book. My mother also, not a few years before she passed, she dropped the book.
Oh
So
wow.
you see the color scheme of her book. Her book is called The Revelation and Light of Truth for Me to Share, which she's a Christian and she's sharing her revelation as far as the word is God coming to her. So I helped her with this book. We put this book together. The color scheme was a marketing scheme. So I just went, and after she passed, I did the same thing for my book. So that's
Glory. Yeah.
and the title, If God Could Rap, is more so it's catching people because people think it's a spiritual book. They think it's has something to do with religion. And ultimately, when you open the book or when you get into the foreword or the introduction, you see that the book is more so art than religious. It's more art of poetry because a lot of people don't know rap. The acronym for rap is rhythm and poetry. So this book is also teaching the kids about rap that don't know. You know, they be rapping, but they don't know rap means rhythm and poetry, like R&B means rhythm and blues. So when you talk about rap
Right.
music as a genre, you know what I'm saying? When they made it a genre, they also, took the acronym and it matched and it's right, rap, rhythm, and poetry. So to a lot of today, the kids are drilling. They doing drill music, they doing trap music, and that's why they're not calling it rap music. You understand? Because they're not rapping. They're not focused on the poetry. They more focused on the style, the dance, the fashion, and also the violence and negativity. They're not really focusing on the poetry and the power of words. So that's another point that this book brings up, the power of words. You feel me? So I was listening to y'all talk about earlier about how us people who are creators, enlighteners, light bringers, when we bring our message, sometimes it could throw people off. And I think that there's all different types of teachers, there's all different types of teachings. I think there's all different types of paths. They all lead to one place. So everybody have a choice. But for me, I represent the Moore Science Temple of America. I'm a Moore, which was started by the forerunner Marcus Garvey and Noble Drew Ali. And one thing that we are taught to do once we come into our nationality is to speak the truth and don't compromise the truth, no matter who it offends, no matter who can accept it, who can take it. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to stroke your ego or play off your emotions as if you could accept the truth. You understand? And every truth has a half truth. So all truths aren't all truths. There's always a half truth to a truth. But we also know 2 + 2 is 4, not only on Earth, but also on Mars and also on Pluto. So if a person come outside and say, well, I believe 2 + 2 is 6, they could believe whatever they want to believe, but that's not the truth. That's not a fact. And if they go to the store and try to spend money on that truth, they will lose out every time because it's not a fact. So I say that to say that this book and everything that my movement is about is based around truth. And like I said, I'm here to bring it as raw as possible because I'm not an energy that's here to nurture your ego or anybody's ego. We have been nurturing our egos this whole time in America and on the planet. The planet has been subsided by people who wants to stroke the ego and wants everybody to stay in the ego. So I'm not here for that. I'm here to bring the truth. And like you said, one of the highest prophets, one of the masters said, let those with ears hear what they need to hear, and let those with eyes see need to see what they need to see. Mm-hmm. So with that saying, right, I like to bring the poem that there's two poems I would like to recite for you today. This particular poem is called Black is a Color and Not a Race. And I can expound on the poem with you after. So it starts off, I'm playing chess where the black piece move first. I'm shooting pool with an all black cue. Last ball you gotta knock off is white or you lose. All black world, all black state. Statue of Liberty with an all black face. Black bezel. My nizzle just caught a case. Conspiracy trying to be the black Bill Gates. All black jail. Black male when he right. Where the prison population's 90% white. Black iPads. Demigod playlists. Black Hollywood. Where the A-lists are blacklists. It's like Prince Hall in the black house. I'm a blacksmith when I pull that hammer out. My black goddess Yoni is like the black hole. I get behind them and give them the black mamba, that black anaconda. That's that black power. Now that's actually lyrics from a song called All Black Everything that I have yet to release. But see, this book is all my lyrics, my positive lyrics, and not all my lyrics is positive because that's another thing. I believe in balance. I don't believe in none of us can be totally positive all the time because I'm not feeling positive all the time, but I still need to get these words out. So if these words is negative, it's to express something that I'm going through to help me. And sometimes negative words can help someone else that's going through it. So this book is paramount to that. It's paramount to the words, the power of the words that you use in the lyrics manifest in your life. So all black everything, right, is something that the Moore Science Temple has been trying to get people to understand in society, in American Western society. This word black, these two words, African American, as long as we go by these words, which is all for play of words, as long as we go by these words, we cannot have self-love, knowledge of self, because these words have no connection to no tribes, no nations, no country, no creed. When they talk about your creed and your nationality, Black and African American are all tricks. And I must say this, I don't want to offend anyone, but a lot of our people become Eastern Stars and they become Masons and they follow this program that they have to follow, because once the indigenous of this land understand that Indians come from India and Indians don't come from America. Blacks and whites are colors. It's not tribes. Those colors do not attach us to nothing. That's why the police could shoot us in the street. They shoot us in the street because we black, because we you know, when we fill out these forms and they ask us what's your nationality, we put black. But the color scheme behind the color of law is that we have to understand that when we read the Black Laws Dictionary, point, I don't want to lose y'all, but point example, Malcolm X, before he was assassinated, he wanted to take America to court for war crimes, right? And other issues that he was claiming America had done to his people. He would have failed miserably because the wording that he would be using, there's no African Americans. Africa is a continent. America is a continent. African Americans don't exist.
I'm going to jump in on that. Okay. So I get, trust me, we as the World Alliance of Indigenous Peoples have been there and are right there with you. But whenever we say America is a continent, I as the Wolf Clan mother of the Montauk tribe of Indians have to step in to say that this will be and always will be Turtle Island.
Fact.
America is it definitely is a corporation in which we all are some sort of have membership in. Okay. But this is Turtle Island. So I have to jump in with that. You know what I mean? It's Turtle Island to us. Okay. And so I definitely get you as far as, and it's something that I've always said before. A lot of times we end up using black and brown and all of this stuff because of the brainwashing and the conditioning that literally, to communicate with each other, sometimes a quick way so that people know who you're talking about, you still use these terms. But in all actuality, it doesn't tell me anything about who you are, who your ancestors are. It gives me no information. It is such a vague term. You know what I mean? Are you, were your parents from Jamaica? Were they from Africa? Where were they? Who are your ancestors? The color black itself and brown. First of all, nobody is the color of the bottom of somebody's shoe. Okay. Or the crayon. You know what I mean? So, but it doesn't tell me about your belief system. It doesn't tell me about culture and things like that. So we definitely get exactly what you're talking about, and how do we say? We commend you on having just the grit, to stand in your truth, and to try to put forth a truth to those who have ears. You know what I mean? So thank you so much for your your important work that you've done. Condolences first off the bat, in regards to your mom. I'm glad she was able to leave behind that book for people to read. It sounds like y'all had a great a good relationship, meaning that though she was a Christian, you know what I mean, your love for her still was able to take what she did and then to do your own spin on it. But your relationship with your mom speaks volumes because you know that she would be proud of the spin that you did,
For sure.
So that's something.
Mom was Cherokee, Blackfoot, and my father's Choctaw.
Yeah.
So when I talk about indigenous, I talk about America. America is South America, it's Canada, and it's America and all its adjoining islands. We had a government here. We had a government here before Christopher Columbus came here. We have a national identity that's in United Nations, that all governments around the world who traded with us. You understand? We are the descendants of the Mayans and all the ancient American tribes that was here, the Olmecs. So that's why I was saying, like, a lot of things that they telling us and they playing off words. So again, when we talking about words, when we calling ourselves black is a negative connotation. So every word you say, you cast spells onto yourself. So when you call yourself black, when we look up black, our kids go to school and when they look up black, what does it tell them black is? So now I'm calling myself that for 20 years. I don't think subconsciously I'm being programmed. I'm programming myself to tell me that black is negative, because when you look it up, this is what it is. The Webster Dictionary is revised. So before it said African American, before it said black people, black, the word black is negative. It's a negative connotation. The word white is the pure connotation. You understand? So that's what I mean. Like, we say indigenous because we don't want to say black. We
Well,
say
that's
indigenous.
well, that's why it's so important for us to make sure that we, like Tiffany's song said, and even like, Claire Harris's calendar. And I love the way they spell Black Facts calendar, because it's spelled PLAC and then facts FAX calendar 2024. But that's why songs like Tiffany's, poetry, like what we give, the three of us, and uh, the calendar and things like that is so important, because it is definitely up to us to teach the younger generation the information that they need to know, and we have to supply them with that information as they go off to school. With that said, okay, so what I want to do is I would like for you to read your introduction, and then read your introduction, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
All right, because this is going. So the reason why I'm having him read the introduction, y'all, is because this gives you a gist of what the book is about, and then and then if you want to get in touch with Demigod, you can. I guess he can give you his website, or you can contact us, okay? And we'll definitely put you in place, in touch with him, so that you can get your copy of his book. So if you don't mind reading the introduction.
Okay, rap. In this book, the first thing you will learn from this book is that rap means rhythm and poetry. Today, in its full capacity, it's a lost art form. In the world of legendary urban street poets and great rappers like Nas, DMX, Notorious B.I.G., Jay-Z, and Pac, lyrics in hip-hop songs and mainstream media today have been dumbed down to pure ignorance, negative vibrational perceptional self-talk, and mumbo-jumbo. One has to ask themselves whether this is the evolution of the genre or on purpose, purposely done to program the minds of the youth. The power of words is as true as water is wet. Words cast spells for those who bear witness to the magic in speech. Unlike rap, hip hop in the past, we had a balance of rap groups like Public Enemy, A Tribe Called Quest, and X Clan, to the street ballads of the 90s with Mobb Deep, CNN, Snoop Dogg, and Wu-Tang Clan. Most of today's rap lyrics lack substance, influential positive energy, and sustenance for the listener. This does the listener a great injustice and robs them of the power of words. When in the beginning, there was only the word, and the word was with the God. What makes up a true rap song is rhythm and poetry, a marriage that cannot be denied as perfect matrimony. Rap as an art form must be balanced with these two ingredients for it to truly be a rap song, by definition. This book highlights the importance of rap lyrics having meaning, conveying a message to teach, reach, or repel any person, place, experience, or idea in the listener's mind. May these poems give the reader what they are missing in rap music today. The power of words. Hearing the words to a song has a totally different effect than reading the words to a song. These poems are meant for you to read with the open mind, but it may not be for the narrow-minded, bougie, faint, or in some cases, parental discretion may be advised.
All right.
100.
Yeah.
100.
God,
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for, that honesty on that. Um, I just want to play a small clip from one of your videos, and then we'll have to wrap our you know our poet songwriters and authors lounge up for the evening. We definitely want to thank everybody for coming out. This is just a small clip. I pushed it in a little bit, y'all, and so this is Demigod. Hold on one second, and then I'll see if I can just get that going for you.
Let's get that fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire. Put
So,
the coals on it.
all right, we're going to see if we can get it going. Let's see.
For real.
All right.
God is everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. This is my magnum opus. I don't know who to trust. Money ain't enough.
Hold on.
Guns ain't enough. My ancient commit high in the Kush state of mind. Sheikh Abdul Bamba said it's all about to deprive, make the hungry commit crimes, then you put us in prison. This shit's by design, so I'ma use this vibe to liberate minds. As within, so without. The plan is divine. Who lacks spiritual comprehension won't take what I'm giving. So just go to the next song, regardless I'm winning. Machine nation of a hidden nation. I'm just saying, you gotta use your intuition. Why the Supreme Court hasn't overturned the Dred Scott decision? You cannot be out of a boot of a fight. My voice is spirit, the spirit is everywhere. I'll come out on top, I got God on my side. I'm one with God, and God is everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah. All of us ain't deaf, dumb, and blind. The self-serving versus the selfless.
What I'm talking about. That's how you do it.
Good looking, family.
Damn it. My bad. I cussed off. Hold on. That's what I'm talking about.
If anybody want to look me up online, official Demigod, official, correct spelling, official DEME, because my name is Demetrius, so it's a play off words. DEMI is the real spelling for demigod, but since my name is Demetrius, I put the E there, so it's DEMEGOD. So that's all platforms everywhere. Just Google me at official Demigod.
Yes.
All right,
And so we
brother Bay, let's get it, brother. What I'm talking about.
yeah.
Hafiz Bey is my name. Hafiz Bey is my name. Demigod is my rap personified.
Well,
Both
thank you so
respected
much.
all day.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes. Thank you. And so, all right, everybody, that's a wrap for us. We want to just thank you for hanging out with us. I know that live stream is going to reach a lot of people. It usually does within a few days. And so with you in mind, okay, the ones that will be watching tomorrow and the next day and the next day, we want to say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for watching. And also, if there's anybody on this platform that, let's say you, for whatever reason, you want to book an interview with or talk to or anything, you can reach out to us, drop us an email. We'll make sure that we connect you with them as far as giving them your information. With that said, do not sleep on the books that you've been introduced to today. They are phenomenal. Do not sleep on Miss True Blood's music. And definitely you want to go check out the poet, B.G. His merchandise and his book. And see all the books being held up by Miss True Blood. And then I will also hold up the Black Facts calendar. You got to get, if you Google it, you got to get the spelling right. BLACFAX calendar. It's loaded. All right. So
I like that artwork though. Everybody got
That
some good
is
stuff.
amazing. That they,
yeah. So we
I didn't know that.
definitely, yeah.
I wanted to say something to both of y'all though. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody got something. Like I heard you talked about your sister. And you talked about your, you know what I'm saying, your mother, two queens up out of here, but the transition is still living. They living through y'all. Y'all got that light for real.
That's a fact.
Anybody else lost somebody, man? Hey, it's just a transition, man. Energy can't die. It multiplies. You know what I
They
mean?
still here. They still here.
Still here.
Still here.
Absolutely.
Fact.
All right, everybody, listen. Sadanya Napi Katuchawak Nathasa Wees, Mox Nachas Chiawan, Martha Nachayawan, Delaware Mingo, Tasuta Mawonk, Nathap.
So
I'm
she's
Sadanya.
showing out again. I like that smooth. I tell you, every time I hear that's smooth. I got to learn it. I got to learn it.
Well,
I'm
listen,
upset.
listen, you can join one of my classes because I do teach. And we have our red tail songbird down in the bottom, y'all. It has been a pleasure hanging out with y'all today. We're 20 days away from the festival, August 19th, right, between 12 and 6. Please tune in. And if anybody wants to support what we do here is so important, visit www.waip, like in Paul, Peter, or pumpkin, hyphen inc.org.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make the standard donation, we will make sure that you get one of these Black Facts calendars, okay? All right.
I need my calendar too. I need that too. I'm putting on a
That's
list.
interesting. That
Yes, yes. Visit that website.
BLAC.
Right up.
Very
Hanging out with us and bringing that authentic New York sound. Yeah, rap music. Is there's nothing else like it. It's truth. It's raw, but it's real. And so we definitely hats off to all the people that came before. Biggie, Tupac, DMX, Big Pun,
All
everybody.
day.
We love y'all, like you said, all day, and we thank you for what you've given to music, the industry. All right. Peace and
blessed.
blessings, y'all. Thank
Peace
you.
and love. I say.
Ashe, Ashe.